Call the
progress.
I'd like to call the meeting together for the Board of Investments Audit Committee. First thing I want to make sure is who's all here. I know I'm here, Maggie is here, Dwayne is here. Porter, are you online or are you here?
Not yet.
Okay, and Dan is here. So we have majority, so we can do some business if anybody cares to.
That sounds ominous.
First of all, is there any public comment on issues within the jurisdiction of the audit committee? Seeing none, I'd like to move to approval of the February 28th, 2024 committee minutes that are contained in your.
So moved.
We have a motion, do I have a second? Second, Dwayne and then Dan. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, executive director comments?
None this month?
Wonderful. So Julie, can you give us an update and go over what's going on with the audit checklist?
Certainly. Good morning. Just a few brief things on the checklist. In regards to our fiscal year 24 SOC audit, Whipley has conducted their entrance conference. The walkthroughs are scheduled for the week of June the 3rd. Testing is scheduled for the week of July 22nd. The draft SOC report is scheduled to be presented to you at the audit committee during your October meeting. We have already started working with Whipley, gathering some documentation and providing them updates to the section of the report that is our responsibility. In regards to the 2024 ethics statement, all voting members have signed the ethics policy as well as the confidentiality of use of position. The STIP and trust fund annual confirmation letters have been sent out. In your checklist, the trust fund participant letters were being worked on, but they were actually mailed last week. We sent them to 190 local government accounts for STIP and 355 state agency accounts for the STIP confirmation letters.
One question related to that, because I asked Dan that, but being an ex-auditor, when I think of confirmation letters, I'm thinking about confirming balances, but can you explain what these confirmation letters?
Yeah, what we're doing on the confirmation letter for state agencies is we are confirming that the users that we have listed in our system are the users that the agencies still want. Those letters are being sent to the agency director as well as typically the head accountant within that agency. With the local governments, we are confirming that your bank account information is the same, your authorized users are correct, your authorized representative has certain abilities. Can they change the bank account? Can they do other things pursuant to the resolution on file? And we're also confirming the delegates for the local governments.
All right, thank you, Julie.
So I have a question. So are the university systems included in the 355 listed
Correct.
agencies? Okay.
Correct. That includes all state agencies, whether you're a component unit, university. And it's a good way for agencies to keep information up to date because a lot of times they would forget to let us know that people have changed.
Well, plus you have new people that probably don't know that they need to
Correct.
change. And you said 190 local?
Correct.
Okay.
And then for the trust fund, we are sending them information as to how we operate our trust fund and confirming with them the information that we have on file.
Okay. Anything else?
And then BOI reported to the Impera board as well as the teachers board, and we're required to do that. So I've just got those dates noted in the checklist.
Could I ask a question?
Oh, you bet.
On Whipley, Is there any particular area that they're concentrating on or doing something new in this audit?
You know, Jack, every year they try to focus on different things and they'll make decisions when they are doing their planning stage. So as of right now, I don't know a particular area that they will or will not focus on. But they do try to touch most of the controls that we have in place in the control section.
Any follow-up on that?
Well, just, is there any one section that we want them to pay?
Well, and that's, good point. Because when we talked at a meeting.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes, a wonderful point, Mr. Chairman. But we talked a meeting or so ago that that we thought, or Dan thought that they would go into detail on the new housing programs and the policies that we put in place.
Yeah, we talked about that in the entrance conference with them also as something new that we were doing. So we brought that to their attention.
So I guess the question is that an area that we, as a board, should want some?
I'm not sure it rises to as of a board, but
I have asked, that's.
but I would expect to see something, and if it wasn't there,
Okay.
I'd be concerned maybe.
Well, then I'll say as committee chair for the audit committee, I think I have an interest in making sure that they do look at that review and let us know how they find but they're gonna audit against our policy, our approved policy, pretty much, okay? Okay.
And I will say for last year, when I provided them the population detail, the ARPA loans were included as part of that population detail. And so their samples did have a few of the ARPAs in there.
Any other questions for Julie or Dan or anything relative to the audit committee?
I just one for Julie. You are on top of all this stuff. Is there any part that you're concerned about, or do you think that anything that you would want to discuss with the board as well as talk to the auditors about, or do you like the process, or
Well, I think,
what's your comfort level, I guess?
you know, every month I go through certain items off of our compliance checklist. That compliance checklist changes. I don't always follow the same procedure. And then I have a meeting with Dan every month. And so if the issues are coming up or arising, I'm talking with Dan at least monthly on those issues. They get fixed, corrected, and I go back and retest. And so I think there are a lot of things that we are catching internally that's been very helpful for us with our internal control procedure and policies that we have in place.
And then the SOC audit looks at those internal controls as well, and then the financial auditors also look at it?
The financial auditors will look at our internal controls, not to the depth that Whipley does,
Right.
but they will touch on some internal controls.
So we have a good cross-reference of testing the controls.
We'll have Julie's monthly tests, Whipley's tests, LAD's tests. We like to test.
That's
If we're gonna find it, I'd rather we find it than an auditor find it. So that's why we started the internal process several years ago.
Right. Okay. And then if any of the board members have any concerns, we can bring them to you and you can take them to Julie or to Whipley or whoever.
If it's, what we likely do is have Julie go test it internally first. And actually, Jesse in accounting is a former auditor as well. So we've been deploying her on some certain things. For instance, she went and did a full review of all the documentation with the linked deposit program. So if there's a place that the board has a concern, we'll dispatch internal resources to it initially. If there's a there, we may dispatch a Whipley to it as well.
Any other concerns, questions for the committee? Okay, thank you very much, Julie. We'll call the audit committee meeting closed.